Hi, I am Dr. Elizabeth Samantha Rothschild, Judge, founder and Chief Executive Officer of Corporate Law and Securities Incorporated, with a brief from the Political Office, ABF Chief Political Officer. This morning, I was watching the news, and let's stick a pin there. I am aware that there's a lot going on, and there's a lot in the media, and I should be refraining from watching the news media, especially with so many subliminals and multimedia diversions concerning things that have happened with me. Yet, this morning, the news was on, and when I saw Kristen Welkers and Meet the Press was featured on NBC Washington News 4, I could not resist. I did not watch the whole thing, okay? But I will comment on what I did take in. It has happened that Republican candidate Nikki Haley lost the Republican primaries in her home state, South Carolina, to former President Trump, who is running for a new term. And that just floored me. It really did. But I understand. Let's take this from an analytical perspective. I can understand that, whereby, number one, when money is the issue, it takes a lot to campaign. And it is not very easy to ask persons for their money for your cause. I know from being a candidate for the United States Senate, for the major Congress, being a candidate for United States Senator for the state of Texas, which I'm no longer running. However, I am still registered with the Federal Election Commission at fec.gov. The raising of the money, that can be quite a task. Some of that could have been that former President Trump has ready money, whereby Nikki Haley candidate is at the beginnings of raising funds. Now, this is her home state. She was the governor of that state, and she has never, from what I gathered from the Meet the Press Kristen Welkers report, is that Nikki Haley has never lost an election in her home state for any reason. Yet she has lost the Republican primaries. So I've aforementioned it could be a campaign finance issue. The other thing is she is a woman. Women have a very tough break as it is. Women's lib has only liberated us so much. And to be a Republican candidate and a woman, well, that's as debilitating as not having the ready funds. So those are the two things striking against her. Mostly what I've observed is she's all work. She's done all of this great work, but the work, when you do the work for the good of the public, for the general populace, for the sake of the nation, it is not a riche job. It's not a rich thing that brings a lot of dollars. It's blood, sweat, and tears, hard toil to get results. And it's a thankless thing. So looking at that, and I'm crushed for her, and totally unbiased for this upcoming presidential election. But to say she lost the Republican primary to former President Trump. So, but it goes on. It's not the only state, and there may be more support at a later time. Who knows? The other thing I'll make comment about with regard to this current presidential election, of which I am unbiased, is that democratically speaking, there's President Joe Biden, who is running for another term. Now, here it is, his vice president has COVID. She's had to go into quarantine for COVID. COVID-19 is a socially dysfunctioning illness. So she can't rightly make decisions for society when she has a social illness. And I, in my analytical forecast, do not see him winning re-election with the current vice president. What would need to be done is that he really need to find a different running mate. I can't understand why she would even want to, let's say, bring negative impact to anyone's campaign. In other words, she cares about the work so much and things being done for America, and she knows that President Joe Biden is a good president and he gets the job done, just like he did when he was the senator. Then why would she want to run in the re-election with him? This would be a perfect time for him to select a different running mate for capacity, if that is at all possible. I hadn't even checked to see if that's at all possible, or if he has to run again with the same person. Back when former President Trump was the, back when President Trump was the president, the same sort of issue was true of his term. The same sort of issue was true with him. His vice president was horrible. So here we have President Joe Biden with a horrible vice president. Although President Joe Biden is a good president, he's a horrible vice president. And with her having COVID-19, with her having acted out and doing things that are totally unacceptable, why would she even want to run and ruin things? And further, why would he not select someone else? So that's what I've analyzed so far about this election, and I won't be speaking much about it. I'm totally unbiased, totally neutral. And thank you all for joining me for this political analytic. You all have a great day.